Forward to seeing you in the future very shortly, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See ya.
Conference of Big Five School Districts. Georgia Acuto, Executive Director. Sharon Contreras, Superintendent of Syracuse School District. Edwin Quazada, Interim Superintendent. I hope you're all teachers, you can help me how to speak. And Linda Samuza, Interim Superintendent. And Dr. Kriner Cash. I know the last one, Cash. I've seen it on occasion.
Georgia, you want to sit here and then I'll sit?
One more chair. Yeah. Sorry.
I think I met you. Yeah, good morning. I think I met you in another session. Sure.
Yes. Hi, good afternoon, distinguished members of the panel. I am Georgia Asciuto. I'm the Executive Director of the Conference of Big Five School Districts. I am here today with my colleagues from the Big Four city districts, as well as a representative from our Syracuse School District in the audience. I'm going to introduce them. You have my written remarks, and in the interest of time, if the chairs allow, I am not going to speak to those. I'm going to let the superintendent speak, and then I will fill in if there are any issues that haven't been raised. So to my right is Dr. Sharon Contreras, Superintendent of the Syracuse City School District. To her right is Dr. Kriner Cash, Buffalo Schools Superintendent. Came to the table is Dr. Edwin Quezada. He's the interim superintendent of the Yonkers School District. And to my left is Ms. Linda Simmons. She's our interim superintendent in the Rochester schools. And I'm going to ask Dr. Contreras to begin.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I would like to thank the State Assembly and State Senate for the opportunity to testify today. We appreciate the support that the State Assembly and the State Senate have provided to public education. According to the most recent United States Census data, half of the children in Syracuse live in poverty, and the city continues to be among the poorest in the nation. Syracuse is now poorer than all of the other major upstate cities. Most alarming is that a recent analysis of census data shows that Syracuse has the highest rate of extreme poverty concentrated among Blacks and Hispanics out of the nation's 100 largest metropolitan areas. Our combined property and income wealth is 1/3 that of the average New York State school district. The Syracuse School District is implementing key strategic initiatives to improve the academic outcomes of our students, and we are making progress. The district's four-year June graduation rate increased by 4 percentage points in 2014-15, the highest one-year increase in 6 years, and the highest graduation rate in nearly 10 years. The 5-year graduation rate reached 60%, which is also the highest rate in nearly a decade. The dropout rate has decreased from 26% to 16%. While there is much work to do, the Syracuse City School District is making progress. In order to continue to close persistent achievement gaps and fundamentally change the life chances and opportunities of the students that we serve, we respectfully request a minimum additional state aid increase of $22.8 million beyond the executive budget proposal to support school turnaround and new school development. The New York State Education Department has designated 18 of Syracuse City School District schools as struggling or persistently struggling. The students who are most often relegated to attend these schools are the poorest and most vulnerable in the city of Syracuse, in New York State, and indeed in our nation. Syracuse City School District is prepared to infuse more choices into our existing school system in order to introduce more high-quality options for families and as a key strategy for school turnaround. We are exploring ideas such as expansion of expeditionary learning, expansion of gifted education at the secondary level, where students of color are woefully underrepresented, development of a performance arts secondary school, development of year-round school models, development of a Montessori school, development of a personalized blended learning school modeled after New York City School of One, boys-focused education to reduce the deplorable dropout rates of Black and Latino males, and programming designed to encourage and increase opportunity for girls to participate in computer science education, coding, gaming, engineering, and mathematics. Secondly, we're looking for transportation to school for students. Syracuse currently buses K-12 students who live outside a 1.5-mile radius from school, the minimum distance aided under the current state formula. Pre-K students are not provided with transportation. However, many of the district students reside in economically distressed areas that are plagued with violence and crime. These students have difficulty getting to school on a daily basis, especially given the inclement weather and the brutal cold for which central New York is well known. We are requesting that the state funding formula is changed so that any pre-K-12 students who reside more than 1.0 mile from school is considered an allowable pupil for aid purposes. This would allow us to bus 1,000 pre-K students and an additional 2,200 K-8 students, and would generate a total of $11 million in aid for the Syracuse City School District. Thirdly, academic interventions and support for students. Part 100 of the regulations of the Commissioner of Education requires that school districts provide academic intervention services or additional instruction with implementation of the Common Core Learning Standards and state assessments aligned to these more rigorous standards. More than 90% of students in the Syracuse City School District qualify for academic intervention services, including 6,228 children in grades 4 through 8. As a result of increased state aid for the 2015-16 school year, we have been able to add 58 academic intervention teachers to support struggling students in grades K-5. However, the sheer number of students who need additional supports require new models of instruction and additional staffing. Fourth, the new federal Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, includes computer science with other core subjects. Computer science education offers more employment opportunities for students than any other discipline. Unfortunately, women, Blacks, Latinos are underrepresented in the field. Currently, Blacks and Latinos each make up 2% of all of those employed in computer sciences throughout the United States. Syracuse is moving toward making computer science available to all 21,000 students across all of our schools. Implementing computer science education, coupled with implementation of personalized blended learning models that allow teachers to tailor instruction to each student's strengths, needs, and interests, will transform education in the Syracuse City School District. Fifth, expansion of arts programming. The research is overwhelming that children from low socioeconomic backgrounds who have access to the arts also tend to have better academic results. An overpreponderance on academic intervention services alone, coupled with drastic budget reductions over the years, has resulted in many students in Syracuse being denied the basic opportunity to participate in the same arts programming that their more affluent peers enjoy less than 5 miles away. Syracuse City School District is requesting the addition of programming at the elementary and middle school levels. We also ask support for implementation of the newly amended CR Part 154 to support English language learners and for support of career and technical education. Over the last 3 years, Syracuse has invested in more than 20 career and technical education programs addressing career readiness in projected regional, state, and national growth fields. The district is expanding to include 3 new CTE pathways next year. In the Syracuse City School District, students enrolled in CTE programs experience greater academic success and higher graduation rates. Thank you so much for your support of public education.
Good afternoon, colleagues, honorable members of the legislature. I am new to the New York region and area, specifically Buffalo, and I thought I'd take a moment to just say a little bit about my background, introduce myself. I have over 21 years of executive experience in public education, 37 years total. I have been a chief of accountability and system-wide performance for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, serving 4 years there, being recruited there by Rudy Crew, former chancellor of New York City Schools. I've been a superintendent in Memphis City Schools for 5 years and a superintendent on Martha's Vineyard for 10 years. Also an associate dean and faculty at Howard University and a department chairman and professor at the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts. I'm educated undergrad at Princeton, Stanford University graduate, and University of Massachusetts Amherst. I say this because I'm excited to come to Buffalo and help begin to continue the transformation of that district in line with the exciting economic renaissance that is already occurring there. I want to thank Georgia Asciuto for ushering me around yesterday and getting to meet many of you, and I thank you certainly for all of the tremendous legacy that these committees have in supporting our school district. I'll get right to it. You know the history of Buffalo, so I won't cite where we've been. We're more interested at this time in where we're going. And I've spent quite a bit of time in these last 5 months talking extensively with district leaders, teachers, principals, students, parents, business leaders, faith-based community leaders, higher education community, and all of our stakeholders. And what has been clear is that there are 6 priorities that have emerged from those conversations. We're calling it the new education bargain for parents and students in Buffalo. The new education bargain is simple. The district will guarantee pathways to opportunity that will lead to achievement and success in exchange for hard work, commitment, and collaboration of our students and parents. The essential elements of the new educational bargain are these: institute rigorous early elementary education, pre-K through grade 3, which shall include but not be limited to reduced reading and math class sizes in grades 1, 2, and 3, and the selection of highly qualified, highly talented reading and math instructors for this effort. Establish strong community schools in each quadrant of the city of Buffalo to serve students and families within their neighborhoods. Each community school will provide an enriched education experience, including extended day and full wraparound services. Redesign and launch new innovative high schools in our underperforming high schools to bridge the quality gap and the equality gap between traditional and criterion schools, and provide for expanded opportunities for career development aligned to emerging industries in Western New York. Over 165,000 new jobs will be coming to that region. We want our young people to be qualified to take those jobs. Commit to a plan for extended learning excellence for all our students, which includes revamped after school, summer school, Saturday school, alternative education, digital learning, and technology-based learning, especially including the arts and athletics, as you've heard throughout the testimonies today. 5, provide services for our neediest children and families, which shall include a revamping of educational opportunities for students on the east side of Buffalo. Buffalo is extraordinary in the way in which it's providing mental health, legal, and other health services for all of our students and families. And perhaps most important, create a new relationship with our teachers, which recognizes them as professionals, pays them fairly and competitively, provides the support and professional development they need to enable them to do their best work, and reform the working understanding between the district and the Buffalo Teachers Federation. We want, together, to ensure the best instruction for all our children, every day, in every school, in every classroom, in every subject, for every year of school. So in short, the priorities that we're asking your support on are these. Increase foundation aid to allow the district to fund its educational priorities, or the new education bargain that I've just described, for an estimated cost of $40 million over the next 3 years, because these goals won't be achieved in 1 year alone. They'll be phased in over 3 years. Expand and consolidate the universal pre-K programs as described by the Commissioner Elia, earlier this morning. Provide permanent increase in the health services aid line for Buffalo of at least $2 million more to $7.3 million. As you know, with the exception of the one-time bullet aid allocated in 2015-16, there have been no increases since 2006-2007, despite significant increased costs of services, service needs, and requests from charter schools to provide much-needed nursing services. 3, increase funding for the receivership schools or the struggling schools, again, as the commissioners and others have asked for, specifically adding funding for schools that are classified as struggling so that we can make more investment in their leadership talent in those schools, teacher professional development. A lot of that is needed there, chronic absenteeism, and enriched after-school programs. And then to help support the infusion of digital technology into our schools, which align with all 6 of these priorities herein described, I'm asking that you consider funding from the New York broadband program. We already have the Smart Schools bond money, but the broadband program would help us for projects that are now in rural areas of the state where no broadband exists or the services are inadequate. We understand that, we support that. But a critical component for our success with the new education bargain is to be able to access this available funding so that we can serve our poorer communities in Buffalo. It's not that they don't have connectivity possibility, but they often, the families can't afford that connectivity. And so we want to help that and get that done in all of our communities in the city, but we need to have access to that broadband program. And finally, I just wanted to add my support for what you've heard often today. I served on the Regents Task Force led by Regent Lester Young, and I support the recommendation over 2 years of about $25 million to improve help improve outcomes for our young men and boys of color. It's very important that we continue to provide on-ramps for success for all of our children, all of our girls and boys, certainly, but we see profound continuing problems with that population of our young people. So thank you for listening. We think our request in Buffalo is aligned to our colleagues here in the Big Five, aligned with the commissioner's request for the whole state, and we want to be a good team player in all of this, and we thank you for listening and for your continued support.